From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Sulaiman Aledo.
Hello and welcome tonight. Former head of state Muhammadu Buhari to contest for the presidency on the platform of the APC promises Nigerians better deal. Nigerian Army court-martials 59 soldiers for alleged insubordination. The Bring Back Our Girls campaigners change strategy, march to the UK and Chadian High Commissions in Abuja for support. Health officials in the US trace passengers on same flights with recent Ebola patient.
And on business news tonight, Nigeria's headline inflation drops 20 basis points to 8.3%, the first time in 6 consecutive months.
And on sports news, Nigeria's Super Eagles get their campaign for a Nations Cup ticket back on track with a 3-1 victory over Sudan.
The race towards the 2015 general elections appears to have gained a fresh momentum with today's declaration by former military head of state, General Muhammadu Buhari, to run for the highest office in Nigeria under the platform of the All Progressives Congress. General Buhari, who declared his intention before a large gathering of APC members at the Eagle Square in Abuja, says he will tackle issues of insecurity, corruption, unemployment, and power generation, among others, if elected president in 2015. The APC presidential hopeful, who is seeking the office for the 4th time, criticized the ruling People's Democratic Party for the worsening economic situation in the country.
The atmosphere was more like that of a carnival as supporters of General Muhammadu Buhari converged on Eagle Square in Abuja. With an air of celebration, the event signaling the declaration of General Buhari's intention to seek the presidential ticket of the All Progressives Congress commenced with speeches by some top party leaders.
Go back home now and get your voters. Go back home and do what? Go back home and do what? Get your voters card.
FPC is a great party, richly endowed with the best human resources you can get in any part of the world.
The wind of change is blowing, and an idea whose time has come, nobody can stop it.
Climax of the event came when the general himself mounted the podium to state his intention of seeking the presidential ticket of the All Progressives Congress.
I humbly wish to present myself before you, before all Nigerians, and before God, seeking to be elected as APC's presidential candidate. Since 1999, PDP has presided over our country's decline. Nigeria, in my experience, has never been so divided, so polarized by an unthinking government, hell-bent on ruling and stealing forever whatever befalls the country. Mr. Chairman, we in APC are resolved to stop them in their tracks and rescue Nigeria from the stranglehold of PDP.
Some top party faithful aligned themselves with the aspirations of the party to take over Aso Rock Villa come 2015.
I'm happy to be associated with this aspiration, and I will work assiduously to assist success. Against the ruling party, there is only one thing. It is that this party, APC, must be able to mobilize the grassroots. And who has an appeal at the grassroots level is what matters.
The commitment of both of them to the project Nigeria is unshakable.
Should General Buhari become the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress after the primaries, it will be his fourth time of gunning for the nation's highest office.
We are going to move straight to vote of thanks.
The Federal Executive Council has held a valedictory session in honor of 7 ministers who are set to disengage from their ministerial positions to pursue their political ambitions. They are the Minister of Information, Mr. Gov.Nyako, Minister of Health, Dr. Onyebuchi Chukwu, Minister of Labour, Mr. Emeka Wogu, Minister of State for Education, Nyesom Wike, Minister of State for Trade and Industry, Dr. Sam Otom, Minister of State for Defence, Musili Obanikoro, and the Minister of State for Niger Delta, Darius Ishaku. In his address at the session, President Jonathan said the ministers have not formally written to the Secretary to the federal government on their disengagement, which means they are still members of the council until October the 20th.
It was a council meeting that started with the swearing in of new permanent secretaries, with President Goodluck Jonathan charging them to work in harmony with the ministers as well as make extra effort to instill discipline in the civil service. The council also took time out to present the various awards that the president won from various groups in recognition of his role in the development of ICT and the Lifetime African Leadership Award for Excellence as presented by the vice president. But that's just a build-up to the main event of the day, as 7 ministers are about to throw in their towels as ministers to further their political ambitions. Here is how the president captured their political move.
7 of us may not be here next week, Wednesday, to continue deliberation with us, if their plans continue. But we may not say they are not with us until they formally write to us through the Secretary of Government. As we are talking now, nobody has written, and we are not dropping anybody. So people should not say we have dropped ministers. No, we've not dropped any ministers. They are still members of council. But assuming between now and next Wednesday, if they decide to go on with their plans, then they may not be with us. It's only proper for us to at least wish them well, assuming we don't see them again.
The Minister of Power describes his outgoing colleagues' decision to leave as tough.
Your Excellency, it is a tough decision to leave your cabinet. This is a convivial cabinet, a council that we have interacted with each other as brothers and sisters, a council in which we've held each other's honor, a council in which we've been true to each other. We have a sense of camaraderie, and we have played as team members. But Your Excellency, there comes a time when the drum beats become louder in some areas, and some of our brothers are listening to drum beats that are inviting them to dance to the call of duty in their respective states.
One of them, and the outgoing Minister of Information, said they have to go and practice what they have learned under the tutelage of the president.
The time has come, and we must say that, yes, we are stepping out, because of the challenges we face in our various communities, and the leadership of a nation needs a lot of effort and people working in different directions. But we are going because we are convinced that doing so will reinforce what you are doing here as the President of Nigeria. I want to say that for all of us, I don't want to mention individuals, we are motivated by you, we are motivated by this country. We believe this is the best country, those who are going to leave behind. We'll continue this level of loyalty and commitment to you and to our country.
Next week, we determine how How many of them will eventually bow out completely? For now, the outgoing ministers seem to say they will continue this level of commitment to the president and the entire Nigerians, no matter where they operate from in the future. Chukwuma Onwekusi, Channels Television News.
Well, the constitution under which these politicians will be running in the 2015 elections may not be the 1999 constitution as it presently is, as the House of Representatives, that is, if the House of Representatives completes the process of amending the 1999 constitution. 252 lawmakers overwhelmingly voted to amend 71 sections of the document and also adopted the National Assembly Conference report on the review of the constitution, while 8 voted against it and 1 abstained. This, however, followed 2 hours of deliberations as members debated the procedure for the adoption of the report on the alteration of the Constitution. Our correspondent, Lanre Lasisi, has more on this.
It was the key issue on the other paper for the day, a motion for the adoption of the report on the amendment of the 1999 Constitution. Even though the lawmakers were ready to vote on the matter, the Speaker had some explanation to make.
Quite a number of our colleagues are not having their cards. And we anticipated some of these challenges. Therefore, the leadership in consultation with the clerk and his team have improvised another means of voting.
Some lawmakers had some concerns which the Speaker also tried to address.
For example, provisions that were passed here by the House, quite a number of them were not passed by the Senate. And therefore, you needed 2/3 of the Senate on those provisions. So the implication is that if we get the 2/3 of both chambers for this report to be passed, those clauses have now been covered.
But as more concerns were expressed, the House resolved to meet behind closed doors. These concerns appear to have been addressed as voting commenced immediately the session was thrown open. The Speaker then announced the results.
261 members present, 252 voted ayes, 8 voted nay, 1 abstained.
The result means the House has fulfilled the 2/3 vote required to amend the Constitution. Some of the key amendments approved by the House include local government autonomy, independent candidacy in elections, and life pension for National Assembly heads. The House of Representatives has now concluded its work on the amendment of 71 sections of the 1999 Constitution. So it's now left for the Senate to conclude its own part, after which the amendments will be sent to the state houses of assembly. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
Well, after failing once again to secure its foreign witnesses in proof of its charges, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has withdrawn the charges of defrauding 2 Dutch businessmen of $1.69 million levied against one-time socialite and businessman Fred Ajudua. This forced Justice Kudirat Jose of the Lagos High Court Ikeja to put an end to the protracted trial which started in 2003. The court went on to discharge Mr. Ajudua. The FCC told the court that its foreign witnesses are refusing to come to Nigeria because of the fear of contracting the Ebola virus. Ajudua and his co-defendant, Charles Orie, had allegedly obtained the $1.69 million from the businessmen as sundry payment to various government officials who they claimed would help them to facilitate a contract worth $18 million on behalf of the complainants. They both pleaded not guilty to the 4-count charge of conspiracy, fraud, and obtaining money by false pretense. However, Mr. Ajudua cannot go home yet, as he has been returned to prison because of another charge of allegedly defrauding former Chief of Army Staff, General Ishaya Bamiyi, of $8.4 million, while they were both in custody at Kirikiri Prison in Lagos between November 2004 and June 2005. In part 2 after the break, Nigeria and Cameroon further discussions on border patrol to curtail Boko Haram activities. That's in a moment.